Welcome back everyone. It's a real pleasure to have you here again. Now before we begin, I have a quick question for you. How many of you are watching this video before the general release to the public, to the wider public? If you're not quite sure what I'm referring to, all the details are in the description and pinned comment below. Now let's dive straight into the story. At the recent 2025 Azerbaijan Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton crossed the line ahead of his Ferrari teammate Charles Leclerc. On the surface, that result might not seem unusual, but there has been an interesting detail that only came to light afterwards. Reports suggest that Hamilton may have been asked, or perhaps even instructed, to let Leclerc through, yet as we all saw, that pass never happened. Since then, Lewis Hamilton has expressed a degree of regret, even offering an apology. But here's the fascinating question: did he really need to apologize? From one perspective, Hamilton's decision showcased his competitive spirit. He proved on track that he could finish ahead of his teammate, and that's an important statement for any driver, especially one who doesn't wish to be seen as a supporting role. And when you look at the bigger picture, the gap between Leclerc and Hamilton in the standings is only 21 points, with around 7 Grand Prix and 3 sprint races still to come. That margin is hardly insurmountable. It's also worth noting that so far this season, Charles Leclerc has yet to secure a Grand Prix victory, while Hamilton has already tasted success with a sprint race win. So in terms of results, both drivers have demonstrated different strengths, and the internal balance at Ferrari remains a dynamic story in itself. This leads us to the team's position. Ferrari aren't directly in contention for the World Championship at this stage, so whether it's Hamilton finishing ahead of Leclerc or vice versa, the broader picture for the team remains relatively unchanged, which raises the question: were team orders even necessary here? Of course, one could argue there might have been a miscommunication or a moment of misjudgment, but ultimately the outcome caused no serious harm. At most, Charles Leclerc may have lost a handful of points. Beyond that, the integrity of the competition remains intact. What strikes me is the humility with which Hamilton addressed the situation. It demonstrates his character, but equally one could argue that he had very little, if anything, to apologize for. Now, I know opinions will differ on this one, and that's exactly what makes Formula 1 so compelling. So let's open the floor. Do you think Hamilton made the right decision, or should team dynamics always take precedent? Share your thoughts respectfully in the comments. I'd love to hear a wide range of perspectives. As always, Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to support the channel further, the links are in the description and pinned comment. And if you like early access to selected content, consider becoming a channel member. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We've got plenty more insightful discussions on the way. Until then, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.